our world according to thy perfect law.
As the Advent journey continues, I seek to embody peace. No matter what might be happening around me, I can rise above that which troubles and distracts me. All that takes my attention away from my spiritual life and my relationship with God. Peace is always mine, an aspect of my divine identity. When peace feels far away, I take as a cue to center myself in spirit. I return to the practices that calm my mind and open my heart. As I relax and enter the silence, I touch the peace and perfection of God and claim that peace is my home. Returning to activity, I carry peace with me. I bring harmony to my interactions, calm to my reactions, and tranquilities to every corner of my life. I won't just be peaceful, I will be peace itself. The reading is from Jude 1, chapter 1, line 2. May mercy, peace, and love be yours in abundance.
Before I sing, my name is Julie Noe, and if you weren't sure who you were donating all those wonderful coats and mittens and wonderful things to, you were donating them to my pre-K kids in the Detroit Public School District. So thank you so much. I was so touched. And every day I still have a pile out, and every time families come in, they go shopping. And they are just so grateful. So thank you very much. Go to sleep. simply be my child. Go to sleep, my son. Baby, close your eyes. Soon enough you'll save the day, but for now, dear child of mine, oh my Jesus, sleep tight.
God is all, both invisible and visible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. I am an individualized expression of God. I am ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance.
Well, good morning, everyone. And I hope when you said that statement of being, that you thought about yourself. Because this is the biggest thing that we have to learn, is that who we truly are, what we truly are, is that individualized expression of the only presence and power in the world. I don't care what name you give it. You may call it God if you like. You may call it Buddha if you like. You may call it Charlie Brown. Because you know what? Even Charlie Brown is a spiritual being, even though he's a cartoon. Because he brings out in us our own spirituality. And that's what we're here to learn and remember all the time. And today is the second Sunday of Advent, but I like to remember not just what's going on in this moment during the Christmas season, but throughout the season. So Linda, if you'd help me out, first Linda's going to light the first Advent candle, which is hope and faith, which we talked about last week. Okay, and today, the second Sunday, our word is peace. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Perfect. Thank you, Linda. And of course, the daily word said it very beautifully. Peace is the song of my heart. That's the affirmation. Peace is always mine, an aspect of my divine divinity. I mean, that is who we really are. And we're not, divinity as a whole is not peaceful, it is peace. And we are individualized expressions of that peace. And so during this Advent season, there's a quote from looks like Job. Can't read my own notes here. But it's, yes, as Job advised us in chapter 22, verse 21 of the Bible, by getting into agreement with God, we are able to be at peace. So in other words, it doesn't really matter, or it shouldn't, I hate shooting on people either. We don't want to do that. But it doesn't really matter what's going on, although sometimes it feels like what's going on matters a whole lot, right? So in spite of the things that we find challenging, we look at those and remember who and what we really are. How do we do that? Stuff's happening out here. We stop, we pause, we take a breath. Because, sometimes we're just so quick to react. And sometimes when we react that quickly, we don't make the best choices. So when we're put into a situation, and it is going to happen, that things are not going the way we would like them to, we can train ourselves. And that's really why do athletes go to baseball, football, basketball practice? So that they can get better, so that when they're in the midst of the most important game, they can respond in a way that's productive, in a way, instead of in another way that might not work very well. So that's what we do. We come here to get reminded and reinvigorated so that we can practice what we learn here when we go out into the world and don't you love traffic this time of year, especially if you are one of the brave that actually goes physically Christmas shopping, especially on a weekend? Because when you do, you learn something that Mike learned this weekend. He said, I'm going to go out for a while. And I said, where are you going? He said, I'm going shopping. I'm like, okay. And not too terribly long later, he came back and said, oh my gosh, it's crazy out there. So even when you're in a situation where the world looks like it's going cuckoo all around you, you can make the choice to stop, take a breath, and go to that God center that is always right there with us. It's just we sometimes forget, don't we? So we just practice and practice and practice reminding ourselves. And, it takes a lot of practice to be good at the game of chess, does it not? I never was very good at it because you got to think too far ahead. And I do pretty good, but not with all that detail. So there was a chess tournament taking place in a hotel. And the tournament had ended, and some of the players, some of the winners, were standing around in the lobby waiting for their rides. And it was a fairly big lobby with a nice high ceiling, so their words were kind of carrying. And one of them bragged about a unique opening move that he had come up with, and another one tried to top him by telling him about the brilliant move that he used, resulting in a checkmate. And every one of the chess players was trying to top the other one with how great they were at the game of chess. And this went on for quite a while. Finally, the manager comes over to the group and he said, I'm sorry, gentlemen, but I'm going to have to ask you to leave. And they looked at him, what? Why in the world would you ask that? He said, well, some people are looking for a little peace this time of year, and we're having trouble tolerating a bunch of chestnuts boasting in our open foyer. So they left it peacefully. So mean to be at peace? One of the co-founders of Unity is Mr. Charles Fillmore, and he defined peace as harmony and tranquility derived from awareness of the Christ consciousness. And that goes back to the I am an individualized expression of God. How aware are we of our own Christ consciousness all the time? Not just when we're in prayer and meditation, which of course that is essential, because that's one of the ways we practice the presence, right? Through prayer and meditation. But whether it's Christmas time or any other time, peace is always available, but we just sometimes in the busyness of what's going on in our worlds forget. We forget we need to just pause, take a breath, and feel that connection. And it only takes a moment. And then, instead of reacting in an unproductive way, we can make the choice to respond from our higher consciousness. That presence and power is always with us. Always has been, always will be. The challenge is we forget. But it's like a gift we get to open again and again and again. And the more we open it, the stronger it moves through us and as us. So it is just like the athlete practices getting better at shooting a three-pointer. We get better at being in even more challenging situations and being able to handle it in a peaceful way. To have peace begin in our outer world, we have to begin by finding the peace that lives in our hearts and minds. Because if we are not at peace within ourselves, then it's going to be a lot more difficult for us to be at peace when those challenging situations arise. And today, and that's that peace that we are able to come up with when we're in the midst of a difficulty is what is referred to in the Bible as the peace that passes understanding. I mean, have you ever been in a situation where something less than wonderful happened and you were in a group of people and lots of people are screaming and shouting and pointing fingers or crying or whatever they're doing, and you are able to say, well, what's going on here? Let's take a second look. Let's see if we can't figure this out. You are able to remain at peace. Anybody ever been in that situation? I think so. I think there are more than the few hands that were raised, because I know most of you. I know most of you quite well. And I know that in those challenging situations where somebody needs to remain calm, that there are people in this room right now who can and do, whether you're giving yourselves credit or not. And sometimes you don't even have to say anything. All you have to do is be peaceful, and the energy around you is affected. And as you become peaceful, other people tend to start calming down. Have you ever noticed that? Okay, I mean, energy is a very, very powerful field that most people know nothing about, but you do. And that's why you are choosing to learn to control your thoughts, which then reflect in your feelings. And sometimes you start feeling less than wonderful, and that triggers a thought. So when we start, our feelings and our thoughts are so inextricably intertwined that we need to become aware, yes, of our thoughts, and we also need to become aware of our feelings. Because our feelings will often tell us when something is amiss. There's something we need to pay attention to. There's something going on that is not moving us toward our highest good. And we need to recognize that and perhaps take that feeling into prayer and meditation so that we will have the guidance that we need to move us in a better direction. Does that make sense? So, when a very wealthy man decided that he wanted a painting that perfectly depicted peace, he went out and started looking at all the grand masters from the ages. I mean, because he had basically unlimited wealth. And he looked at paintings costing millions of dollars. And of all the paintings he saw, none of them quite gave him the feeling that he was looking for. So he decided to hold a competition. And he put out notice that he was offering $1 million prize for the artist that painted the best picture depicting peace. And so all these brilliant artists started working, and when the time came for him to choose one of the paintings, he looked at all of them and narrowed it down, and he was finally down to 2 paintings. Now, these 2 paintings were both quite different. The first was of a mountain lake, and perfectly mirrored in the lake was the mountains reflecting back at themselves, the sun up in the sky, blue clouds. It was just so beautiful. And those who saw this exquisite landscape said, oh, absolutely, that is just the perfect picture of peace. The second picture that he chose was also of the mountains. But these mountains were very rugged, very bare. Instead of a blue sky, the sky above was gray and kind of had some angry-looking clouds in it. And there was a torrent of rain coming down. And in the middle of this was a raging waterfall. And people looked at it and said, how can that be a picture of peace? But the gentleman that asked for these paintings to be done looked beyond appearances, looked deeper into the picture. And behind that raging waterfall was a small bird's nest. And seated in the bird's nest was a mother bird and her babies. And she was calmly sitting behind the raging waterfall with the stormy sky around her and taking care of her children. The very wealthy man chose the second painting as the perfect depiction of peace. Why? Because it's not when the sky is blue with filled with fluffy clouds and the flowers are blooming and life is good and, the bills are paid and everything just running smooth, that we are challenged to remain at peace. But when the skies get dark and gray and cloudy and the rain starts to fall, and it seems like the raging water will never calm down, that's when we need to realize that the place of peace is always right there with us. At every moment, through all of the difficulties. Peace is not found only where there's no noise, where worry and distress are never part of the landscape. True peace can be found right in the midst of right where we are, all the time. When our heart is filled with gratitude, when we are grateful for it all, that's when we can allow our minds to become more calm and peaceful. Now, most of you know that I'm going through a pretty serious health opportunity at the moment. And I had a CT scan last Thursday. And prior to that scan, and excuse me, but it's like I cry at the drop of a hat these days, so sorry. Prior to that scan, I can't say that I was 100% convinced that everything that I've been saying, oh, everything's going to be fine, I'm good, da. I had hope, a lot of hope, but my faith wasn't unshakable at that point. So I went to the CT scan, and the purpose of the CT scan is to check other areas of my body to see if it had spread at all. And I swear the glass was this big, this big. I mean, it was huge, and it did taste so good. So you drink all that, and then you're going to sit there for an hour, and then they take you in and they poke you. Yay, love that. And then you get run through the machine, and then they put the dye in, and then they run you through the machine again. And then you leave, so you get no answer. So, and that was, we didn't get home until 7 o'clock Thursday night from this adventure. And I figured I wouldn't hear anything for several days, because that seems to be typically the way it is. However, I was very surprised when on Friday afternoon around 4 o'clock, I got a call from Dr. Brown, the lead doctor of the team that's helping me through this. And he called to say that there was nothing other than what they had already seen in the first place that lit up for the students. So, hey, it's moving in a positive direction, and my faith just increased a little. So, you know, peace is a spiritual practice. And when you're going through challenging situations, health opportunities, children who are struggling, parents who are aging, you know, we get sandwiched in between all that stuff. And when we're going through that, that's when we need to remember those words from the statement of being. Daily, I remind myself, I am an individualized expression of God. And when we know who we truly are, even if the results wouldn't have been as good as they were, I'd have been okay, not as happy, but I still feel like, I don't know, part part of this whole crying all the time thing, I think is because what this has done for me so far has broken me a little more open. Because sometimes being broken isn't all that bad. Sometimes that's exactly what we need to allow ourselves to really feel. And I'm kind of looking at a few men around here, because you guys tend to be less open to your feelings than we are as women. So I'm kind of just saying, it might be an opportunity for you too. When something less than wonderful happens, and you feel like it's hurting, and you don't want to hurt, none of us want to hurt, but sometimes when you allow that hurt its space, then you also allow your feelings to be more open for the love, for the caring. One of the things that I'm learning is, and I know there's plenty of you in here that are just like this. I can do it myself, thank you very much. We want to be so independent. We want to know we can do it on our own. And yes, we can. And when somebody says, I'd like to help, we can learn to say yes. Instead of, oh, I'm fine. In fact, my adult son moved out a couple months ago now. And so our basement, which is a finished basement, but let's face it, it was finished in 1972, so you like brown paneling? So with my adult son gone, I decided I'm going to make myself a she cave. Because Mike likes a lot of sports, and I like a lot of Hallmark movies. So I'm going to have my own little spot, but I'm not into brown paneling. So I've been working on transforming the basement. I started a month and a half ago. I got the hallway done, partially done. And I bought an electric fireplace so that I can keep myself nice and warm and toasty down there. And I was telling my girlfriend about it, and she said, well, do you want some help? It never occurred to me to ask for help. I mean, seriously, it just didn't. And she said, do you want some help? And I'm like, sure. So she came over Friday and Saturday, and between the two of us, we got the whole thing painted. And I'm so excited. But, you know, and that's part of being at peace. Being at peace is also knowing when to say yes when someone wants to help. We don't have to always do it on our own. We don't have to be Miss Independent or Mr. Independent. We can accept other people's help, their love, and their compassion. And you know, every week, right here at Unity East and at Unity churches around the globe, we end our services, many do, with a song that says, let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Because you know what? That's the only place peace can begin, is with each and every one of us. And when we allow that peace to begin with us, when we listen to still, small voice. It's never going to scream at us. It's going to whisper to us, and we have to pay attention. And when it says everything's going to be okay, it'll all work out. We can let go and let God and know the peace that passes understanding. Namaste. And now it is time for our meditation. So whatever spoke to your heart from that message, if it was getting through the hard times, or remembering to breathe, or whatever you needed, whatever your consciousness gave you a little nudge, a little tickle, I want you to just take that with you into this meditation. So put your feet flat on the floor. Relax your shoulders. Take a couple of deep breaths. And as we go into this silence, this place of connection, this place where we don't ask, we listen for the answers to the questions we've already had. Because there is that presence and power knows what we need, knows what we want, even before we ask. So let's think about just connecting with that higher consciousness, with that power and presence that is only love, only good, and will remain in connection for a few moments of silence. Divine Spirit, we know we've been answered. We may not yet have heard or discerned or seen or felt what the answer is yet. But we know that our thoughts are prayers, and we know that there is one presence of power that is only good, only love, and can do all things. And all things that are done by this presence and power are for our highest good. And we are so grateful for that knowing. And we are so grateful for being taught to pray by our Lord Jesus the Christ. And we together say and sing the Lord's Prayer.
Bye.
opportunity to give back to the source of our own inspiration. And this is the time that we can share our gifts so that Unity East of Flint Township shares its gifts with others. We do tithe every month to various charities, and I'm sure Linda will be sharing a little bit more about that during the announcements. So let's take our gift in our hand, and on the back of your envelope is printed our prayer. Together, divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give joyfully and easily, for the universe is my source, and abundance is my nature.
Be born in me.
for coffee and cakes and whatever is available, and conversation and time together. And we always like to close with our prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. The